Blech. Oh, it's so loud for me. Oh. That is still so loud for me. Alright, everyone, welcome. I definitely need someone to tell me how loud this sounds on stream. Because I have no ability to judge that, because it is so loud for me. Alright. I have the, I have the Discord set up. Let's see if I can get me centered on this camera before I turn it on. And then you guys have to sit there and watch me like fuss with things forever. I think this is good. I think we're good. Yeah? Awesome. All right, let me put the chat on here. Fantastic. And I can do... All right. So let's see here. I'm just going to make sure that Discord is also using the correct mic. You know what? That's fine. That's a good one. All right. Wait a minute. I'm showing you guys my notes. Arr! Did I go past it? I think so. Yeah. Okay. So today we are discussing part 2 of Dedicant, or part 2 Dedicant of, I always know what page is 106. Okay. I'm gonna need that to get back. Of Dedicant, Devotee, and Priest by Stephanie Woodfield. Let me also just make sure that my music just repeats so I don't have to worry about the copyright issues. Fantastic. All right. Yes, hello. Hi. You guys can also ask questions and raise your hand. Hi, Melissa. I see you. It's not like the weirdest, creepiest way to say that. All right, so we are doing 106. Oh, actually, I should probably show you guys where that is about in the book. All right, table of contents. So we are here, part 2, Dedicant. We just finished off part 1 about Devotee with talking about unverified personal gnosis, verified personal gnosis, and shared personal gnosis. Whew, a lot of gnosises. You'd think by now I'd know a lot. I think I'm funny, and that's what matters. Oh, you got the book in the mail. Awesome. Mycius Porcus. By the way, anyone on Discord and like just everybody, we're streaming currently on Discord, YouTube, and Twitch. So if y'all could open up like the social ones, even if you're just going to mute it and stick it in the corner and be live with us on Discord without the lag, it really helps our stats. So appreciation. Also, if you have the one on social on Twitch or YouTube, you can actually see me because I only have one good camera, and I'm not showing my video on on Discord. Gnosis is not, yes. Yes, Mike is Porcus. All right, let's go to page 106. And we start. Oh, wait a minute. Where is my number? No, my number pad was not. All right. So, did I? Where was the portion that I just saw? Ah, okay. I did go back too far. I'm sorry, I didn't go back too far. So, part 2, Dedicant. I love this. Our relationship with the gods can be quite diverse. Yes. Like, key point there. By the way, sorry, I'm just going to go through what I highlighted and stuff. Hi. No worries. Welcome. Team. All right. And there's as many different relationships with deities as there are with people, right? You can have friends, you can have neighbors, you can have friends who you feel like are family. So there's, of course, different levels and different kinds of relationships, and your relationship with the deity that you work with, worship, or practice is yours. And no one can tell you that you're wrong, except for the small caveat: closed practices. And if you are putting yourself or other people at risk. Those are pretty much the only caveats we ever use here. So, because I know we've talked about this particular concept many times, so we're just gonna run right through it. We looked at the mechanics of building devotional practice. Now we'll go one step deeper and look at what it means to be dedicated to a deity. There's nothing that says that you have to delve deeper into the woods of devotional work. So, actually, I think we talked about this bit last time. 19 Spades, welcome. Hi, we're a Hellenic polytheistic channel, and we're doing our book club right now. I think I may have actually read this last time. Please let us know what your path is if you have one that you have chosen for the moment, forever. I don't know. I think we actually read this one last time, so it should be in the video on YouTube. But I'm highlighting with the highlighter. That was silly. I meant to highlight different. For many of us, we might have to read about the process in a book, or saw a dedication ritual online, or found one from our favorite author, and thought, I really got to get all my pagan merit badges. I really wanted to highlight this because, like, you don't have to do all of the things. You don't have to do any of the things if you don't want to. There are many of us who are obsessed with our crystals and rocks, and maybe you think they're hideous or they hurt your eyes, like from the sunlight sparkling. I like sparklies. I have a bunch of sparklies over there next to my window, but you don't have to have that, right? Hey, Melissa, 5 months in a row. Woo, woo, woo. I just want to drag you up here. I just want to drag you up on stage. But so, and actually this would be perfect. Melissa, if you want to come up on stage, like, let me know, because I know that my practice is very casual and yours has a little bit more ritualism to it. And, oh, you're from the Discord server. Nice. Welcome. So for me, I'm most of the time very casual in my practice, despite the giant shelf that is above me at the moment with all my statues and stuff, making it look all fancy. Half the time I'm like, hey guys, thanks, I gotta run to work, love you. And then other times there's more formalness, more structure. Usually in our monthly rituals, there's like a standard-ish format, a strong suggestion, if you would, but we've done things differently in some rituals or some events where we don't use the normal format and we let the host just take the reins. Sometimes we have an activity, sometimes we have a meditation, sometimes we end up just going straight through the ritual and then going to a community like potluck, essentially. I have to leave in the moment I get it. Oh, no. Boo. We'll be here when you get back. We're always here. So your practice doesn't have to include anything anyone else's practice does. And if you're not a person that's big on, like, for example, formal prayer, then, just love you guys. But if you are someone who prefers something a little bit more formal and written out and thought through, there's a lot of material online from other creators. There is, of course, the texts, like Iliad, Odyssey, any sort of hymn or whatever you want. And then I actually know someone, just bring an example, in the server who actually likes to pray 3 times a day, because it works within the structure of their day, and they want to have that much community prayer time with the gods. So if you want to do something more structured like that, you can go that way too. Yeah, that's it. I just want to this one will knock at my door. But you don't have to feel pressured to do all of the pagan merit badges. Yeah, we definitely talked about those last time. But just to go over quickly, while a devotee has a practice of honoring and communicating with a spirit or god, a dedicant has more of some kind of oath. And the thing is, oaths matter, right? The same as if we make a promise or anything in real life, if you break those all the time, if you're like, oh, it's not that important, you gave someone your word, it means something, right? Same thing, bigger scale. So there are a variety of oaths and agreements one can enter into with a spiritual being. It is not limited to the gods per se, as I know several people who have had very profound dedications to ancestral beings, angelic beings, and the we're gonna call it that. I feel like I might actually be overthinking that one. It might just be side. So as we're talking about oaths, and as many times the author starts off many sections, when the gods call. I loved this so much. I was still laughing about it when I opened this up this morning. I think I might have a goddess stalking me. Like, what? What? That's just freaking hilarious to me. And so the author recalls and writes us a little excerpt about their personal experience, which normally I don't read that much, but like on stream. But there were parts of this that I thought were important or goddamn hilarious. So this is interesting, and she sets a really good scene here. I'm running late, but I stop in my tracks as the slamming of the front door sends what looks like a flock of crows scattering into the air. They were perched on my car, on the garbage can, in the driveway, on the roof, in the trees around my house. It's the 3rd time this week I've encountered something similar outside. I get in the car and tell myself maybe someone has been leaving the garbage can lid slightly open when the trash was out. Isn't it weird that crows hanging out near easy to pick? It isn't weird that crows hang out easy to pick at garbage. They're scavengers after all. That is a logical and sound explanation. Right? It's like one of those moments where you're like, this totally is a logical explanation for this thing. And I will say that we do, say mundane over magical because, sometimes a bird is just a bird. But other times, when you go to the mundane and yeah, yes, exactly. It's like, oh no, this is totally a normal thing. Oh, it is not. I just thought it was like, it was so comical to me. Okay, so there's this line here that just says read all of this. That's what that means. So starts on a report, right? Then I hear caw. That's oddly close. I look up and my jaw drops. In front of the desk is a crow. Not in my mind's eye or something like a waking vision. It is literally right there, looking at me. It calls out again. Caw, caw, caw. Later, my coworker will tell me that it just waltzed in from the parking lot and through the open front door. I just kept staring at the crow, frozen, my mouth opened. Or my open mouth, whatever. My boss then interprets this as I am afraid of the bird and attempts to shoo the bird out the door again. By this point, the rest of my coworkers are laughing and commenting on the commotion. I've had those moments where you just go, and it's kind of hilarious because then it's like, yeah, this is totally a reasonable explanation. What the? I know enough to know that I don't have to give in when a god calls someone. There's a choice. I have talked about this with many people, and in fact, I will bring a little bit personal story of many years ago when I, actually, was it that many? I don't know. It was years ago. I have a younger brother, and my younger brother at that point, knew I was pagan, knew I was Hellenist, and started asking me questions. And so one day he comes to me, he's like, yo, I heard something. Is this true that like a god can just pick you? And I'm like, pick you like out of like a human toy bin? Like this is my human? I mean, yes, but like, and he was like, what? And he's like, no, like they can just choose you and you just have to worship them. And I was like, yes, no? And that's exactly what this is. It's like, yes, they can be like, yo, this human, I fucking love this human. But like, you don't have to be like, I love this god. Like, right? It's like a pet. You can say, I love that animal. I'm gonna leave food out for them. Whatever. Maybe they just fucking hate you and they love the food. They don't have to agree. Consent is key here, as in with everything in life, right? So dedicating to a deity is not about deciding that you really, really like a god or goddess, and therefore, like, you have to adopt them as your patron, right? You don't have to say yes. You don't have to do the choosing at all. What do you do when the gods call? What do we do when the gods call to us? How do we know when we feel the call of a deity? And do we have a choice? How do we navigate these arrangements with the gods? I picked these because I wanted to copy that out into the book club book thread, which if you are in the server, in the general section of the server, there is a book club channel. That's right, it's called Books and Club now. So anyone can talk about any books. Or it just won't copy out. It'll just do it as a highlighter. Let me just deselect the highlighter so I can copy this out. Because I thought that these would be really great questions for us to use in the server for chat after book club. Okay, so there's a sense of awe when something so much bigger than ourselves appears as an active participant in our lives. I mean, think of it like massive fangirling, right? Okay, sorry, hold on. I forgot. 19. I like how this is written. Oh my god, it's like so close to my head. Yep. Because it's a personal experience, right? And actually, I think many of us have had experiences like these, not necessarily where a bird is directly in front of us. That's fun. Okay, I actually do have a personal one I can tell that's actually really fun because it was like way early when I don't think HH even existed yet, actually. Yeah, I don't think Lenny Carroll existed yet. I went to a concert with my partner, and it was a concert where one of the areas for parking wasn't really a parking lot. It was more like dirt, and that, was just used as excess parking for concerts and stuff. And so as we were going back to the car, we were talking about it, and I saw, I think far away, like I saw like an animal or something, and I was like, oh, and like he had just told me there were definitely coyotes in the area. So we like get to the car, and I see a dog? And I'm like, what? And he's like, duly note, I'm nearsighted. So if you're in the dark and I'm with you, like if it's night and I'm with you, you're the one that's going to alert 90% of the time. Cause like, that was not a dog. It was definitely a coyote. And I was like, oh, hi, Artemis. And like, he's like, what are you doing? I was like, well then. And like, we just, something before we had talked about made me like be like, oh yeah, I love Artemis, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, huh. And he's like, get in the car. Because this coyote starts, like, looks up. And it wasn't like dead in front of us. It was like there-ish. And it just goes and sits down like right in front of the car. But it was like 3 cars away. And then I was like, you can come say hi and like get in the car. And I'm like, all right. And then it then walks all the way to the front of the car, comes around to my freaking side. And I'm just like, the entire time. And I opened my window like a little bit. And I was like, I'm sorry, I don't have anything to give you. He's like, don't you open that window. And it was hilarious the entire time. I was dying. And I was like, would you mind if I took like a nice picture of you? Could you like step back? Like, I kid you fucking not. This freaking coyote steps back, turns around and sits again. And I'm like, I'm either Dr. Doolittle or I don't know right now. And so I take my picture and I'm like, okay, step back. Like, we gotta go. I don't want to hurt you. And he's just sitting there going, what happened? And I'm like, I don't know. But like that, I mean, that was definitely a coyote. But it could have been more. And we were just like, that's why Xenia is important, and adding please and thank you is important, because you never know when it's a god, right? It was hilarious. However, genuinely, I spoke to a coyote, right? Mundane over magical. Do I want to hold the 10 or 15% chance that it was magical? Yes, I do. Regardless. And it was so like we talked about it the entire car ride back. Like, it was one of many instances that left me in this such a sense of like awe. I'm like, because like if there was any reason divine of any kind that animal behaved that way in direct response to not physical commands, just literally me yelling at it, because of course I could definitely think that animals could learn commands if like a lot of people are like, come here, you know. But like in the idea, when you think about that it could have been some divine influence on that situation, it is just like oh fuck, that's amazing. So yes. However, despite the fact that, you know, we all go fangirl and oh my gosh, this is amazing, only we have the power to say yes or no to a deity in regards to having any sort of relationship with them, right? Be it worship, work with, practice, anything. And I love the way that she phrases this. Yes, even you, puny mortal, can say no to a god. Iconic. You're so confused. Hi, Blade, we're doing book club. So this is a Dedicant Devotee or Priest, Dedicant Devotee Priest by Stephanie Woodfield. So yeah, we're doing book club. We're on page 112. You don't have to have read the book. You can totally just sit and hang. Yeah. Sorry, that's so confusing. Let's see. We're gonna scroll down. So you might be thinking, what's the big deal? What does it matter? How many or which gods I dedicate to? What's the worst that can happen? Yeah, this isn't Pokemon. We don't need to collect them all. Okay. Yay! Yeah, and the book, if you want to grab it and bring it up yourself so you can read and not have to look at the screen, although we do have wonderful high quality streaming thanks to our amazing Pegasus boosters. That is people who boost the server so that we can have high quality streaming, more emojis, and more benefits to the community. We also, this is a perfect time for me to put in that beautiful screen I made. Hold on. There we go. Only if you're on Twitch or YouTube you can see it. It says thank you for your support. We do want to say a big thank you to thank you to our supporters for supporting us either through boosting the server, through subbing on Twitch, or becoming a Patreon patron. And if anyone wants to join that club, you'll be able to see a special area of the Discord server, which is called Blanket Fort. And that's so we can all have our own blanket fort and have fun and celebrate all of you amazing supporters. If you support us, you will have some sneak peeks here and there about things that are going to be coming up for the rest of the community, so you get you become in the know. And yeah, we just want to take that moment to say thank you. Where's my drink, actually? I was like, wait a minute, where'd my drink go? All right. Where were we? So when you have a dedicated relationship with a deity, you become like the representative of the deity in the world. I 100% vibe with this. Like, yes. I also need to paste that in the chat. I do believe this because I am loud and proud. No, really? We totally didn't think that. And I have in real life many times, and usually I'll come running back to the server being like, I got to proselytize whatever today, and like, of course I mean this ironically. I totally have, I've only once done this, to be fair. I did do this once. But I totally haven't gone around being like, would you like to talk about our king and savior Zeus? You know, like, I'm not going around doing that. But I did do that to one of my friends because it was hilarious. Made a pamphlet and everything. It was so dumb. But I have spoken to many people about being pagan, about being Hellenist. And so when I have done that, right, when I have said that to someone, the moment I say that to someone, and, you know, you generally give them 30 seconds for their brain to either stop breaking or for them to breathe from laughing. I hate to say that, I have had someone laugh at me, but it was just out of, like, they were so blown away. They were like, I did not think this was real. I was like, what? And, you know, and I've had that happen until I start talking about it more, and then they're like, oh, she's serious, and like, oh, and then they start asking questions, and so from the moment I say it and they realize that this isn't a joke, I'm not kidding, then it becomes, oh, I have so many questions, and at that moment I become a representative for whichever deity I'm talking about, for other Hellenists, and probably for pagans in general, because the likelihood of them having, I mean, in LA it's more likely, but I met many people that didn't even know about any other religion other than like the main 4 or 5. And so in real life, you know, yeah, that happens. And so it should be taken with some degree of, I don't know, seriousness, and, you know, you don't have to be serious and bleh, like bland. You just, you know, respectful. That's the word. Respect. So they can take a more heavy-handed approach in making you a better person, a person more like them, a person who fits their agendas in the world. That sounds maniacal, so I had to say it. Soon I will take a more heavy-handed approach in making you a better person doesn't really suit but Uno reverse! You Uno reverse carded a Jehovah's Witness. Jehovah's Witness that so I'm gonna read it. Neural Witch saying, I Uno reverse carded a Jehovah's Witness that showed up and started telling them all about my spiritual experiences that led me to being a polytheist. They didn't want to join me in offer. I love that you asked them. They didn't want to join me in an offering to Aphrodite at my yard statue. Unfortunately, I could tell they only got annoyed at me for correcting their mistranslation of the Gospels in Greek. I love it. That was great. That's hilarious. I love it. I actually didn't Uno Reversa one, but I very much broke someone's brain. I was working for a client at one point, and not too long ago actually, and she was like, "Oh, I love everyone," and like and I'm like, "All right, well, cool," because here's me. I actually did take my lunch break and do a ritual while I was working for her at one point, like here. In HH, like on stream. But it was really funny because she had some problems and started saying some inappropriate comments about her opinions about my religion. And my best fight back to that was, the Bible is wrong. And she was like, what? And I'm like, it's been translated a ton of times because she was also Jewish. And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, have you read the original one? Like, but she was Jewish. She was Jewish, but she was Christian. So, and she didn't speak, I don't think she spoke Hebrew or anything like that. Pretty sure. But she was like, oh no, it was written by God. And I was like, really? Did God pick it up, a pen, and write it? And she was like, well, no, the human. And I was like, so the human wrote it. And the next day she was like, I didn't think about that. And I was like, oh, like just seeing her brain go. Like she had been thinking about it from the moment I said it to the moment I came back to work the next day. And I was like genuinely trying to be respectful and not, but if we're all respectful, we don't, we can sit there and discuss things as opposed to laughing at breaking each other's brains. But that's hilarious. I love that so much. Neurowitch, that's so good. I actually, since becoming pagan, I haven't had any religious people knock on my door. Not because there's any sign or anything like that. It just hasn't happened, and I have been, like, almost waiting for it because I think it'd be really funny. To be like, come look at my altar. They've not come back. Nice. I mean, hey, it's also a good way to get off someone's, mailing list, because that is really annoying. So, and they should learn to respect other people's religions before they come knocking on your door talking about theirs. Respect. That's actually also a really good one, because if a lot people are annoyed with you, right? I don't know anyone I've met who have spoken well about people coming knocking on their door to talk about their religion. Literally never. So, you want to be respectful and think about, like, that's also how you represent. You can represent both positively and negatively, which is also why I brought my story up, because the original one, because when someone realizes, oh, they're being serious, then we become the representative, and we have to, sometimes it sucks, but now are we gonna be the annoying people who are gonna knock on people's door and bug them all the time, or are we gonna be the person who's gonna politely, answer questions, educate, and like not be like, now you have to sign up to my religion, like I can't. I don't know. I just can't stress this enough. So, it's so important on everyone's side to be respectful of each other. All right. I did want to talk about this. So, Why isn't this highlighted? That should be highlighted. There we go. So a common misconception is when one makes oaths to a deity. It is that instantly makes you a priest or priestess, clergy, whatever, of said deity, right? And I like that she follows up with, while it certainly, or I would say certainly can put us on a path to priesthood or clergy, whatever, having a dedicant to a devotee doesn't necessarily make you, like, it's a Venn diagram, right? It doesn't mean that you have to do this whole, you know, you're not just being like, oh, I want to be a dedicant. You think of it, if you're thinking of it as I'm doing this, and now because I've agreed to this, to take this oath to be a dedicant or devotee, I have to take on this job as well. No, you don't. You don't have to. You can just love them, right? You can just be whatever the relationship, whatever the dedicant or devotee position, agreement, oath, whatever means to you and includes to you, that's what you have to do. You don't have to take on a whole nother job with the community because of that. So, dedication is a private relationship. I wanted to highlight that part. The dedication is a private relationship with the deity, as we just mentioned. So, do the gods choose, or do I choose? We talked about that in the beginning, and I mentioned my adorable younger brother and how he got yes and no to every question. So I wanted to highlight this because this is a hilarious story. That the author was like obsessed with horses, so they were convinced that I have never heard this word said aloud, so I don't know how to say it. This deity was going to be the deity that was going to be a big part of their life. But then they did not get that when they did like an offering and a ritual. They were like, the deity was like, no, I got nothing for you, fam. Like, and so just because I was certain I should have a connection with her didn't make her receptive. So in the end, she wasn't what I needed, even though I couldn't see it at the time. So again, this is on both sides. You can be like, I want to be a devotee, a priest, a dedicant, or whatever with you, deity. And they'll be like, they have the right to say no too. It goes both ways. Consent is key to everything in life. So we're about to hit 11, actually. Let me see how I forgot. Let me see how many pages are left. Maybe we're going to split this in two. What page are we on? 14, 19, and we did about like 4 pages or whatever today. Oh, we actually did more today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, we're actually going to stop here so that next time we'll be reading this section and we'll talk about the questions at the end, because we almost never get to talk about those, and I really want to utilize them more in book club. Did I just completely go past it? There we go. The suggested exercises. So we're going to do page 114 through the end of the section. We're gonna do the suggested exercises for next week. I'm gonna try to do it too, because I actually all the time forget that we have a thread for this. Oh yeah, please come tell me how to say it. Perfect. We're having, you gotta raise your hand, I think. Can I drag you on stage? Is that a thing I can do? Invite to speak. There we go. You don't have to come up, but if you want to tell me how to say it, yeah. Hello.
Okay, wait. Hi. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Wait, where was it?
Sorry,
I
it's on the
lost
other
track.
page. 1 second. That one.
Yeah, I think it's pronounced Ipono. Or
Ipana?
Ipano. Yeah.
Whatever they said.
Or
It'll take me
Ipona.
another
I think
4
it's
times to get
Ipona.
that right.
I think it's
Epona.
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 Yeah, I
Yes?
think so.
Sometimes I also put my Armenian accent on things and then it sounds weird. But sometimes it sounds right. Let me see here. Awesome. Thank you very much. That's actually a perfect way. I think it's I
I'm
think
not
it's
sure if it's
also
right
the
though. I
name.
don't.
Neurowitch is saying I think it's also the name of the horse in Zelda, and they said that they think that's the correct way that it said Epona.
Yeah, that's also where my mind first went, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, no worries. Sorry, I'm catching up reading on the chat. Neurowitch said it's reinforcing to those in the religion because it cements us versus them mentality. Yeah, I know. So you have to take rejection as something that means you're the better person, and it leads to greater division mentally. It's a common cult tactic. Yeah, that's right. Neurowitch is talking about people proselytizing, like people come and knock on your door and bug you. Yeah, I've heard that too. But thank you so much, Blade, for helping me make sounds with my mouth correctly.
No problem.
Awesome. Do you want to stay on stage or do you want to jump down?
I don't mind staying.
Perfect. That's fine. That means less work for me. So let's go. I'm going to go ahead and type it in the chat here. I forgot what page we're on already. 114. 114 through I think 119. Is that correct? Plus exercises. I feel like a teacher. Plus exercise. I don't know how to spell that. Off top. I always spell it wrong. Hold on. I always put a Z instead of an S. This is how Victoria is lazy. Exercises for next time. And I'm going to also go ahead and copy that into the Discord. And we're going to just say another thanks to our sponsors here. To our sponsors. To our supporters. We'd like sponsors. We're open to sponsorships. I need to find my list in here. So I can, here we are. Here we go.
I think everyone could use a sponsorship right about now.
I know, right? So we want to say a big thank you to our boosters, Valerian, Alistair, Alex, Bees, Jahan the Undead Queer, Maz, I think, Mercury, Tomix, and Vinegar. Also, big thank you to our Patreon peoples. Oh my goodness, I can't read that. It's too small. Mycius Porcius, Boop, Ever, Sam, Zephyr, Melissa. Hey, Melissa. It's the same person in the Discord right now in the stream. As well as Doug and Avery. Oh, who's recently come back from doing a bunch of I believe school stuff. So yeah. So thank you to all of you very much for helping support HH and the community and making it a better place for everybody. So hearts, and let me turn this off so we can wave bye. Bye everyone. May the gods bless you on your journeys. If you want to say bye, you can say bye too.
Bye bye.